Hey, perfect spirit. I'm Sam Shelley. They call me the Miracle Man. Now let's create a miracle in your life right here, right now. No time to delay. Time's a ticking. So today I heard the news about Johnson and Johnson, and the first thing that came to me was more like an image is what I saw when I heard that news. Almost like an old horror movie with someone like running away, screaming, like the worst thing ever. But what was coming to me, like the advice that I would give myself, when I was going through all these health challenges that I had, was like, trust yourself. You know what's best for you. But they're trying to tell you, trust me. I know what's best for you. No, you live in your body. Trust yourself. You know what's best for you from this place of knowing that I talk about and not this noise. So when I hear people saying, trust me, I know what's best for you, scream, run away, do whatever you have to do, separate yourself from, I call them the knowledgeable ones. This is when I was really going through my health challenges. I had this mindset that they knew what was best for me. Not stepping back and realizing, wait a second, I live in my body. I know what's best for me. They're just giving me some advice, but they might not know the best answer for me because they don't live in my body. So that was the news of the day, and I've just had some thoughts about that we put too much trust in the outside world. And I was really guilty of this. I wasn't standing on my own, trusting my own insights, my own wisdom, and not overthinking things. That this doesn't really know, it's guessing, it's making a logical guess based on past experiences. And if we're filled with this mental junk drawer, it's really going to be very interesting past experiences that are going to be coloring the current experience. Because we're not really seeing reality as it is for most people. They're seeing it based on the perception, the filter of the mental junk drawer, all this head trash that creates all this stress, this worry. Disease even comes from up here if you're really in a stressed state, a panic state. You're getting all that cortisol into the body and the body becomes unhealthy. So just when you realize you hear some news, just don't take it as the absolute truth. It's true from someone's opinion, someone's viewpoint, but it's not the absolute truth. For the absolute truth is beyond words. That is the spirit, the consciousness. This is the place of knowing. That's where the truth comes from, the absolute truth. This is relative truth from our perspective. So just when I hear the news, it's just like it's information, but it's not truth. It's true from their perspective, but it's not the great truth. And sometimes we want to get these, treatments just for convenience. So you can go to the store, you can take trips, but what are the long-term effects? Really tap into you. What is the long-term effects? It may be fine for some people and not fine for others. We just need to be careful when we categorize this as one huge body and it's good for everyone. That's not helpful. Yes, we are the one perfect spirit, the one consciousness, and these many different bodies. Some of these bodies have good immune systems and some bodies don't have good immune systems. So it's really alarm for me when they say this is good for everyone, lumping it into one big group. I don't really think that's the case, that it's not one size fits all. Like I always tell people, this is what I've done. This may or may not work for you. This may or may not resonate. Find your own blueprint, find your own recipe. I can give you suggestions on how to get rid of this, but you know that recipe for you. What is that practice that will throw away your garbage? And I can give you all sorts of practices that may help, but you have to find that one for you. I know what works for me, but everyone learns differently. Some learn by experiencing, some learn by reading, some learn by watching videos. that there's 1,001 ways for us to learn, to discover what is best for us. But we're too quick to lump into that group consciousness, that these are all different bodies. We can't be this group collective with all these bodies. It's not one solution solves everyone's issues or concerns. If life that was that easy, everything would be just perfect in the relative world. It's only perfect in the spiritual realms where all is well. But this life experience is very challenging. So we have to be careful of the mind just operating out of convenience, not going against the flow, not going against the grain, not causing upset. This is all part of the head trash, not wanting to cause upset, not wanting to cause a stir, the one that just wants to take a shortcut. That it's a challenge to get that mind quiet and see what is best for you. But for some, you might just sit with it and say, should I get this or not? And you can just go about your business, and you might just have a knowing pop out of nowhere, or a sign, a symbol, a confirmation of what you're supposed to do, paying attention to these signs and symbols that are all around us. But I really wish that everyone could experience perfect spirit, the consciousness. And life just flows in magical ways. But I just had this really interesting image, when I heard the J&J news of like an old horror movie of people like running, screaming, running away. And it was really coming to me like, oh, trust me. I know what's best for you. Nonsense. You live in your body. You know what's best for you. Beware of the mind just falling into the traps of not making the choices that are indeed best for you. So just sit with it and just notice, is the mind doing to not cause a stir, to not be interrupted, if you will. But I want to do this, so I need to do that. But doing that, is that really worth the risk? Is that really in your best interest? Because we know this is not a typical vaccine. It's not a vaccine at all, according to my understanding. I always thought like vaccines where you take something like the flu, something of that illness, and you put that into the body, then the body develops the antibodies around that illness. I don't think they're taking that disease and making a true vaccine out of it. They're doing something else. They're playing with RNA, DNA, and that's a permanent thing. And I'm just wondering what's going to happen in the future if there's these autoimmune diseases. I can pretty much handle autoimmune disease and help other people handle autoimmune disease if the mind was a big cause of that, of creating a toxic environment. But when you start altering this at the cellular level, at the gene level, there's nothing we can do beyond that. I usually say nothing is impossible. But, there are some things that are a little extremely difficult to accomplish. Like I can't exactly grow a new limb. I really can't do that. So that's a little impossible to grow a new limb. And likewise, how are you going to grow all these new cells that don't have contamination, if you will, an alteration to the cells, to the DNA? A man-made influence, not a mind-created influence. So that's a big concern for me. What's going to happen for society when we get into this group think? That's what it really is, group think, the group collective, not going from this deeper place of consciousness. And we just really need to be aware, is this best for me? There was a teacher that once said, those that go with the flow, the group think, go down the drain. Yeah, it's a little harsh, a little mean, but yes, that's true. When you get a group think, it really can be a destructive force for you. Because once we get into altering the cells, the genes, you can't reverse that, like growing a new limb. Or in my case, wearing glasses. I haven't figured out how to grow new eyeballs yet. I can't, because my pupils are too large from what I heard. So I haven't really figured out how to solve that issue. Maybe there is no solution. It just is. But I'm not attached to it. I have eyes. These are not my eyes, my body. It's all temporary. The only thing that's permanent is consciousness. So I call it the body, the hand. So we get into this my attachment. It's not that healthy to have that my attachment. I just realize it's the body. It's my tool to have the human experience. All right, so just be mindful today. Just step back. What is best for me? And I need to let go of that implicit trust of others that I really don't know their background, their history, and most importantly, their motives. What are their motives for this heavy marketing campaign? We just have to step back and wonder. And for some, it's fine. They have a strong, healthy immune system, and it is right for them. But for others, it is definitely not right. We can't get into this groupthink. It's an individual decision. And we can't be pressured into those decisions. All right, I think that's it for today. Take good care of yourself, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.